Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. There was this video floating around. Did you see Ali Lines? Is that who it was that you saw?
No, it was Jamie Page and
Julia
Adams.
Okay, so they did this video that was top 3 in every category. So ours is going to be a little bit different because there's 2 of us. So some of them we will have 3 each, and then some of them will have just a couple each because we have different preferences, and you know, everything's different for us. But a lot of like our base products kind of remain the same for what we like. Raisin Marie, I will kill you. Come here.
Raisin's getting a brother, by the way. God knows why we chose to do that, but...
So, here's our little baby boy, the angel, love of my life.
And he's gonna get a brother who's a full Sphinx instead of a Bambino.
Yeah, so he's
I'm
not gonna
cute.
be a Mexican.
Are you excited to get a brother?
Probably not, you're a bully.
Yeah, don't be mean to your brother.
Anyway, if you're interested to see top 3 in every category for us, then just keep on watching. We each have a couple different primers because I honestly don't really anything glowy and hydrating is gonna work.
Yeah,
for me, you know?
I'm not that picky.
So I was gonna do the Tatcha liquid silk canvas because it is a really nice blurring kind of filtering primer, but I don't use it very often, and I felt that that was a lie to add it into a favorite. So this is more of a foundation mixer, but it is a priming type product. So Vichy Mineral 89, it's a skincare product, it's a hyaluronic acid serum, phenomenal, gorgeous. It is the best mixing product in your foundation to sheer something out, make it a little bit glowier without changing the formula too much. This to me changes every single foundation formula to a very similar version of the original Natasha Denona face glow. It does what it needs to do. I love this stuff. Then we have the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what to tell you. Every single time I use this product, I have a good makeup day. For what reason? I literally already use like 15 moisturizers.
Something about it just works.
It really does. It does something magical to the skin, and I don't know what else to say about that. And lastly would be my Auric Glow Lust. Now back in the day it would have been Charlotte Tilbury, but I no longer own her. I would say that both of them, they're almost equal in my mind. The only difference is Auric is thicker. So
yeah, Auric is just thicker. So
I don't know which one would be ranked top, but this is such a staple product in my routine. It's so beautiful.
And yeah, I have both. So Auric Glow Lust, I have mine in selenite, and I do quite enjoy this product. It's really, really gorgeous. I tend to use this less as a primer and more as a foundation, honestly. Yeah. But I love my Hollywood Flawless filter. This is in the shade 1. I prefer this formula as a primer because of its thinness. Yeah. Unless I mix, like I'll mix this with Vichy, or something else to kind of sheer it out to make it a little more emollient, but that's why I like this one a little better. And I don't know why I like the doe foot applicator more. I just tend to like that.
And the shade is a little bit less peachy, I would say.
The shade is definitely a little better on me, so I don't know. I like both of them quite a bit, but this one, I don't know. I think it just has something in my heart a little bit that I'm just kind of drawn to. But this is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. I also like the original Putty Primer. I don't use these super frequently, but if I'm like, wow, my skin needs a pick-me-up, like I need to pretend like my skin doesn't look bad, I generally gravitate for this type of primer. I also do like the liquid silk canvas for that.
It's just really expensive.
It's just really expensive, and this one is, I just feel as good as the original Tatcha primer putty thing. The silk canvas or whatever. I didn't think that was as magical as everybody else did.
At the time,
the same.
At the time, I was wearing full coverage and powder, so it was magic for me. But I don't know if it would be now, and I'm never going to find out. And then we have foundation. Now I do have 3 in this category. I only thought I had 2, and then I remembered I had 3. One of them is discontinued. I'm so sorry. Natasha Denona Face Glow Foundation in the shade 42 in the original formula. They do still have this foundation. It is just not the same in any regard. This one is very sticky and moussey almost.
It's like thick and sticky, but it's like, you know that e.l.f. Like Jelly Pop primer? It
like
almost has that sort of tackiness
but like
to
whipped.
it, but like it's a little whippier. I don't know.
I don't know. Samantha Ravenel put me on this for like, I don't know, years ago, and when I finally bit the bullet and bought it, like a year later, maybe it was discontinued. This is just absolute magic. I mean, just absolute fucking magic. I cannot tell you.
If we ever come out with a makeup brand, I am
reformulating,
getting this formula.
Yeah,
in
this
our
is
line.
so good, and I wish they would bring it back. My Nude Sticks Tinted Cover Foundation. I'm currently panning this. I don't have the proper shade for myself. This is the dewiest foundation I've ever put on in my life. It's like massively glowy, and we all know I love something very massively glowy. So she's in the top. She is gorgeous. Sheer coverage, typically what I gravitate towards, sheer to medium. It's pretty sheer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful finish. I love the way this looks. I wish they had better range. And then, you know, we haven't stopped talking about this since we bought it. This is the new MAC Face and Body, the Studio Radiance version. I bought C4, so I did have C2, and at least on Ulta specifically, I thought C2 was gonna match me, and then C2 ended up being like almost Vic's shade. Like, it really wasn't. I don't understand what happens there, but so I got C4, and it matches me a lot better. It's a little peachy, but this formula is just
so
phenomenal. It is the perfect, it's exactly what I want, well, I've never tried it, but what I would want the Glossier skin tint to be. Like, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
MAC Face and Body in mine. I have C1 as my shade. It's just perfect. It's just perfect in every single way. Yeah, I have.
It's all I want to wear.
It's the only thing I want to wear, and I'm panning other foundations, and that pisses me off. But another one, this is sort of a tried and true, and this is not one for every day for me. This is like a favorite when I have things to do. And this is the Makeup Revolution Fast Face Stick Foundation. Oh yeah, it broke. Well, it's really cheap, but I just love the formula on this. It's like the most dewy. Does it work in it? Okay. It's like, it's so dewy, but it's also like almost a satin. It just sits so well on my skin. This got me through pregnancy, so it kind of has a place in my heart because of that. But I do have an issue with the shades in the line. They tend to run.
I cannot find a single shade that
really
work.
freaking pink or red or yellow. Like, there's just no like middle ground shade. I always mix this with another foundation, but it does mix well with like my sheer foundations, and that's what I like about it too, is it just works well. The Huda Beauty one's a good one too, but this one I like the finish of better. And then my Kosas Tinted Oil Foundation, or Tinted Face Oil, not foundation, but I don't know, this is just really, really pretty. It's a little similar in texture to the MAC Face and Body, like it's very, very runny, but I feel like this wears really well on me. I get, you know, solid light coverage out of it. I just love it. I think it's really pretty, and I love mixing this with other foundations. It just shears them out so well.
Now, in the concealer category, I don't really have much. Concealer is concealer. I mean, you can make a bad concealer, but you can't make a phenomenal concealer, in my opinion, outside of Glossier Stretch, which is my top. And then I also do have the Oma Beauty Stay Woke concealer. The coverage on this is beautiful. I love this shade. This is the shade White Pearl T2, so it's the second shade in the range. So they could probably go lighter because this is not very light, but I do love, love, love this color. It's such a nice, really heavy coverage, thick concealer, but if you just use like 2 dots, it's just phenomenal. It's beautiful. I really do like this concealer a lot. And then Maybelline Age Rewind would be a third. Funny enough, that used to be literally a concealer I would never touch in my life. Made my under eyes look like sand, and then one day it started working and I loved it. So
we have some similar tastes. Glossier Stretch is also in here because I just love this one. I don't like to use this as like a typical concealer. I tend to use this as a concealer finisher almost, just like for the texture. I do like the coverage of this on its own, but I do find because of how emollient this formula is and the fact that I don't tend to use powder, I do get transfer almost with whatever mascara when it comes to that formula, so that's like a little off-putting. Maybelline Age Rewind is a strong second. She is just light in texture, but has a good medium to full coverage, but it just does not look heavy at all. It looks so lightweight. And then the Kokie Be Bright Concealer is so good. It's so good. I don't know, I haven't tried the Maybelline Fit Me in a long time, but it kind of reminds me of that, like a very like natural sort of texture, but still like a pretty decent light to medium coverage. I just think they're all really, really gorgeous. I also did really like the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer.
Yeah, that one was really nice too.
So I've been thinking about picking that one up again at some point.
Okay, so we're gonna go to bronzer next. We won't be having any powders in really any of these. Some in the highlights, but we don't have any face powders that, you know, we're obsessed with, that we die for, because powder is only there for if we really
did buy
need
a powder. I should probably mention that. This is the MAC Studio, whatever, natural skin finish. And this is what I've been using if I need to powder, because I was getting really oily for some reason. And this works well enough.
Not for long. So of course it wouldn't be a tutorials video without raving about Salt New York. So Salt New York bronzers are phenomenal. They're amazing in every way. They have such a nice finish. The pigmentation is perfect. It's like sheer enough where you're not going to be scared when you put too much on, but like pigmented enough that it comes off on the skin.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful formula, wonderful brand as a whole. We're never going to stop talking about these. They are like, I mean, look at the pans, and I know we're panning them, but yeah, we're not panning this one, and it's still pretty used. So
next, this is one that just keeps growing on me. This is what do you call it? Bronzino and West Coast from Tower 28. I'm wearing it today. I just really like it. I just think it's so flattering on me. Like it has a slight like red undertone to it, but in a way that's not like really like unflattering on my skin tone. I just feel like it works so well, and it's just...
I might pick one of those up in a shade that works for me, because this one is too, I don't want to say silvery, but it's just not my shade. It needs to be
I think they only have 2 shades in this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I do really, really enjoy this.
Lastly, we have Denona Myricks, the Waterproof Cream Palette, the Essentials Palette. If I can get it off. This is what she looks like. Very, very kind of scary to use for bronzer, so it's not for the faint of heart. Be aware that you will have a strong bronze if you go in with more than a feather light touch. A really beautiful formula though. It has a lot of squalene in it, so it's very slippy, very beautiful, very dewy. Denona Myricks just continues to impress me with everything she does, and I really love this palette. This lightest shade specifically I love for lipstick.
Yeah, I love the palette.
I use it almost daily for lipstick. I mean, so good.
Again. Salt New York. I love everything about their products. I'm wearing, is this one cranberry?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, raspberry.
Raspberry, not cranberry. I'm wearing raspberry today, which is just a beautiful, beautiful shade. All of them are so good. This one is technically a highlighter, but we have more of the blushes.
Just not in here.
Just not in here. They have the most beautiful emollient, but not too slippy formula. Some people say they don't wear well on them, but I truly find that they wear beautifully on me.
They're very long lasting.
Touching my face actively.
We do have the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. We have a few shades in this. The dewy formula specifically is what I'm referring to. So we have Happy and Lucky in the dewy formula that I really, really like. The colors, I wish I had some colors in the dewy formula that were a little bit different, because that stops me from wearing them as often as I do.
I do mix this one with a lot of my other blushes, actually.
In terms of formula specifically, these are like one of the best for really nice pigmented long-lasting blushes. I really love the pigmentation out of these. I know a lot of people said that was scary, but when you wear a lot of blush, it's not scary. Nothing about this is scary. It's lovely, it's beautiful.
And if you have a deeper skin tone, that's going to be exceptionally
It's easier to sheer something out than build something up. Yeah. So in terms of blushes, in my opinion. And lastly, we have the Nude Sticks Nudies Balloon line. They did release 2 more shades. I know I was on the fence about supporting Nude Sticks,
but they're expanding their ranges, and I want it all!
Anything in the Nudies Bloom line has my heart. It's got a fucking chokehold on me, dude. I really, really, really adore this. It's basically a really highly tinted Vaseline is what it is. Very, very glowy. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today, as I always do, because I'm panning one. I've used up one, and I'm almost done with my other. So I've gotten a lot of use out of this formula. I feel it wears really well, even with how dewy it is. I don't feel that it wears off really easily. However, if you do touch your face, it will come right off. I mean, yeah, that's just the reality of it.
It's sticky.
But so beautiful, so dewy, so yummy. Honorable mention to the AOA Studio cream blushes though, because
what is the shade? There's one shade specifically that we use often, and it's this one, which is called Demure.
Demure from the AOA cream blush line. It is basically
$1
a dupe for these.
$1 and a very,
blue.
very similar formula.
And lots of shades. So
great pigmentation too.
I need to order more, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that in the wrong order for me. I highlight before blush every day, all day. Well, Salt New York highlights are up there in my love for highlights. However, I don't like powder highlights anymore, so I use them very, very rarely. The highlight that I'm always going towards is Auric Glow Lust or Iconic London Original Liquid Illuminator. I am wearing that today under my blush, of course. It is the most metallic, molten, stunning liquid highlight that you could ever put on your face. I really thought this was like absolute bullshit, like the Cover FX highlighters. I thought this was BS. It was just gonna be like garbage, but I've been lusting after it forever just from seeing people use it on Instagram. It's just as good as it looks. I mean, it's so pretty. It's phenomenal. Iconic London, you've got some love from me from this and the mascara, like 2 of my top products.
Yeah. And then I tend to gravitate, if I'm going to wear a powder highlight, I like to get something really glittery and intense. My favorite is Mars Melter from Kaleidos. There's a pan in here. It looks like it's going to be too dark on me, and there is a bit of a cast, but this color is just
so fun.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I love the texture in here. It's a beautiful eyeshadow as well if you're somebody who wears, like, if you multi-use products, but I love this one. And then it would not be a favorites video without mentioning the Beauty Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. This was my first true love, honestly, when it comes to like a glittery highlight, and it just still is supreme. It's so good.
I swatch it a lot.
I know, I always pick it out and I'm like,
pretty.
love that. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I will never stop talking about this product.
I think what we have is eyeshadow. Eyeshadow, we probably mentioned. Okay, so we have eyeshadow next. Before I get into that, I just want to give like honorable mentions to my Iconic London mascara. Just Iconic London Mascara, I think it's called. I don't think there's anything. Triple threat mascara. This is the best budge-proof mascara on the planet. L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly right up there, and Maybelline Lash Sensational are our top 3 mascaras. So good, so good, so good. Milk Makeup Lash Primer, elite. Eyeshadow primer, Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. That's it. That's the tweet, you know. Phenomenal. Getting into eyeshadow. So I had a struggle picking out, you know, 3 eyeshadow palettes that reign supreme to me, because, like, you know, BH Blueberry Muffin is staring me right in the eye, like, bitch, why didn't you pick me up? But ABH Jackie Aina has just so much love for me. This is my favorite. ABH really went off with this formula. I don't know what they did different. I really hope it doesn't expire as fast as the other palettes that I have from them, because I love this formula. I love the tones. There's so much variety in here. It is such a lovely palette. Jackie just did so much God's work with this palette. It's so good. I can't ever survive without my Viseart Grand Pro Volume 3. If this shattered today, I would buy it tomorrow. I mean, that's how much I love this palette. I don't care if it's $175. Actually, I couldn't buy it tomorrow because I don't believe it's available at this moment.
I think it's still available at some places, but not everywhere.
This is the best matte formula of all time. Absolutely nothing has ever compared to this in terms of beautiful blendable mattes. The colors are there. I just love high-end shadows, and I love that I can get high-end shadows in bright colors. Like, it's there. Yeah. It's there for me. This was such a good purchase. And then Natasha Denona Gold. I don't reach into her every single day like I used to, but this still, like, you know, again, if all of our makeup fell apart, I would have to rebuy this palette. It's really hard to choose because I love my Carnival palettes, you know, I love my Kaleidos palettes, my Onsai palettes. I love all of them, but this is, if I want to look really, really nice and I want to feel myself, I pull out this palette. There's just nothing you can't do with this palette. It's just divine. It's powerful.
Divine. Stunning. I sort of changed the mentality as far as picking eyeshadow palettes. I was just thinking about palettes that I'm gravitating towards right now specifically, and I would be lying, even though I'm panning this one, I would be lying if I said that the Kaleidos Club Nebula is not in there. Unfortunately, this is now discontinued, and I don't think they'll be restocking it ever again, but I just have enjoyed so much from this. There's nothing, like, I just feel like I can do everything with this, and I'm not sick of it. I mean, there are days that I don't want to use every single shade or whatever, but I love the deep jewel tones, I love the cooler tone neutrals in here, I love the shimmers so much. I just use it all the time, and I'm not sick of it, which is saying something. And then the Melt Mary Jane is just so beautiful, so beautiful. It's a crumbly friggin' mess. But I really do like it. I think this is one of the smarter neutral palettes I've purchased. I love it. I do. And I do like the packaging, even though it's kind of ugly with this gaudy font. But I like it. And then I have been loving quite a bit on the Circo Loco palette from Natasha Denona. These shimmers are just, they're not
so nice,
super textured and sparkly like I generally gravitate toward, but they are such strong, like, standout metallics. Like, swipe one all over the lid, blend it up. They're thick. They're like rich. They just have so much to them. I don't know. I love it. I love it. I don't love every single matte in here as much as I should probably, but these shimmers just have me. Specifically Razzle Dazzle and Electric. Those two, the blue and the pink. Mama.
That is a really nice palette. I want to play with it a little bit more, but you know, panning.
And then obviously our Cleona shadows are also in our eyeshadow favorites.
Yeah, they're just not put together palettes, so I didn't want to add that into like favorites.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have so many shades of that. So if you're interested in seeing, you know, some of our favorites, we have multiple Cleona videos. We have a playlist, I'm sure, at this point.
Yeah,
of
we do.
Cleona, so you can check those out. Lips, I don't really have much for you here. I really love the MAC lip liners, but I don't really have any staple lip products
aside from the Denessa Myrex palette.
Yeah, Denessa Myrex palette. I love the Propo Beauty lipstick formula. It's so beautiful, so creamy, so emollient.
The Onsai lipstick formula is really good too.
Yeah, there's just nothing, I can't say that there's a lip color specifically that I'm gravitating towards because I want to. Most of the lip colors I'm gravitating towards are because I have to, because I'm panning them. But I like the NYX lip liners too. MAC just reigns supreme. And then, yeah, the only thing that I would say I'm using 24/7 without being asked is that Denessa Myrex palette on my lips, because it's such a wonderful formula on the lips.
It is.
But I think that's all from us today. We don't really have like a bunch of favorite brow products, and setting
Those
sprays
are like
don't
boring
matter.
products anyway.
I don't give a shit about those, so I'm so sorry if you were looking for that. You're just not going to find it here. Staple essential things are just not going to be found on this channel.
No.
Fun things only. Okay. So if you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Let us know what your favorites are. I love when people give me a big long list of all the stuff they like, because then I'm like, oh, do I need to place an order? Like, don't test me. Don't test me, I will. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope to see you in the next one. Bye.